Hey, everybody, welcome to another Wednesday night of Laser Distractions. Hope you all had a good Christmas. As you know, last week um, I cut the rest of the parts for the Christmas train. I'd done the locomotive and hadn't done the rest of the cars. I cut the rest of those. Um, well, I cut some of them Wednesday, and then Thursday I came out here and cut the last little bit that I needed. And then, of course, we were having that big cold snap rolling here Friday. So I debated on what I wanted to try to do. And since I wasn't exactly sure how well this insulating my door was going to work as far as keeping the temperature above freezing here, I made the decision to go ahead and shut everything down and drain my laser tube of water. I capped off the inlet and outlet on the chiller, carried it just inside the house. Fortunately, it's just light enough I can pick it up and carry it in there. So it was okay, but ever since then, I've been, running space heaters wide open and doing all kinds of things to try to make sure that I didn't mess up that tube. I had this fear of a little bit of water being stuck in there and freezing and all that. But I think the coldest it ever got out here was 42 degrees. So I think, I don't know if I'm completely out of the woods, but I think so, at least for the short term. We'll see what January brings. But it got up to, I don't know, 55 or so, something today outside. So it's not too bad out here. I'm bundled up just because when the sun goes down, it starts to get colder. So, but it's not too awful bad out here. And I got fortunate because I'll tell you another little story about I run distilled water in these things. And I thought, well, no big deal. When I bought the 2 gallons, when I started up, Walgreens right down the road from me had plenty of them. So I go down there Monday to get a couple gallons of distilled water, thinking I might not have enough because I drained that out of the tube. Nobody has any distilled water anywhere around here. So I guess it's all because of people, their pipes busting and not having water, running water. So they're all going to stores, buying up all the water and stuff. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I thought, well, I'm not running all over town looking for it. I'll just get online, try to find some on Amazon. And man, talk about price gouging. I found I found some when I got 2 gallons, but it was 20 something dollars a gallon. Almost $50 for the two gallons. And then it was supposed to be here today, which I thought, well, that'll be perfect because if I don't have enough, I can, top it off with that. And I got a message from Amazon saying it was delayed. Now they're saying tomorrow or the next day. But fortunately, because I didn't drain the chiller, I was careful disconnecting and only blew out the water from the tube. And once you've had the machine shut down, the tube sets up higher than everything else. So it kind of runs downhill anyway. So there wasn't a whole lot to drain out. And when I started up, it takes like 6 liters, which is a little over 1.5 gallons. So I still had the little bit left in 1 gallon in there. And it was just enough. I used every drop I had to get it. And it's still right in the middle of the normal thing. And I've ran it a little bit. So it's all good. We're all back up and shooting laser beams now. So everything is good there. I see Roger Brown's in the house. I want to welcome Roger. He's a new channel member. So Welcome, Roger. I added your name to the list in my outro thing, so you can watch for that at the end of this live stream. But welcome. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. One other little thing I'll tell, and then we'll get started with doing what we're going to do tonight. This will be the last laser distraction live stream that I'm going to have to limp through with this pokey old laptop. I finally pulled the trigger and got a new computer coming. Originally, it wasn't going to be here till Saturday, but now they're saying it's going to be here tomorrow. It's coming UPS. It's not coming with an Amazon driver. So I'm pretty stoked about that. It's going to actually, what I'm going to do is I figured I was going to go ahead and spend a little more than I wanted to and get a really good desktop computer. And then I will use it to replace not only this one that I'm using the live stream on, but I will replace that one. And then that way, see, the way I have to do it now in order to show you anything that I'm doing through Lightburn or whatever, I have to have that one on StreamYard as well, just like it's a guest on my show or something. And that computer is really old. I think I got it 2016 or something. So really looking forward to getting a new computer tomorrow and getting out here and going to work on some better camera angles and stuff and change some things up and try to make this stream a lot better for you guys. So we can see things more clear. There won't be any lag and all that kind of stuff. That's the goal anyway. So just wanted to let y'all know about that. Also, if this is your first time here, even if you've maybe been a channel member for a while and this is your first time here, let me go through this drill. The laser I use is an Omtech laser. It's the model AF2435-80. The AF means autofocus, which basically it just means I can raise and lower the table because I don't really use the autofocus portion of it. I used some other set of lenses, some third-party lenses that make it much easier than trying to use that autofocus. The 24x35 means my bed is 24 by 35 inches approximately, or 600 by 900 millimeters. And of course, the -80 means that it's an 80-watt laser. And I am an affiliate for Omtech. So if anybody's thinking about getting one, there's lots of links to check out down below in the description. And most importantly, I have a coupon code that'll get you 5% off your total order. So I want to make sure I throw that out there in case there's anybody that's watching this because they're thinking about getting a laser. So anyway, let me show you kind of what I'm going to do tonight. I got another cool website to show you. Let me get it open over here. I will show, where is it? There it is. All right, let me go ahead and put this, I'm going to put this link in the chat too for anybody who wants to check it out and bookmark it or whatever. But I'll put that in the chat. So now you got a clickable link. But this is this website right here. And what it does, the jigsaw, it allows you to make jigsaw puzzles. So you can cut your workpiece into puzzle pieces. And this one I really like. I saw a guy using this on YouTube. You know, that's where I get all my it's where I do all my research. But this one's really cool. What I'm going to run tonight, I'll show you here in just a little bit, but you basically just come in here and set this to what you want. 20 and 4% is good. This jitter, you can see it changes the shape of the pieces from real crazy to something a little more what regular puzzle pieces look like. I'm going to use the size of what I'm going to do is about 6 inches by 6 inches, which is 152.4, I believe. So I'm going to do it square, and then I can tell it that I want to do maybe 6 pieces by 6 pieces. And so that is going to be my puzzle piece. Now, if you notice, it's got 3 different colored lines. And in a minute, you'll get to see a little bit more about why that's important. But this black line is, of course, the outside. And you'll notice that it has blue lines running horizontally and red lines running vertically. So what it does is when you import that in over your image that you're going to cut, it sets these up in 3 different layers. So you would put the black layer last because you want it to cut out the outside part last. These other 2, doesn't really matter which one you do first, but it'll do all the blue first and all the red, or vice versa, depending on which one you have set up first. But anyway, I am going to do this little thing right here. I just found a sample picture, and I thought, well, why not do one of the Omtech Laser? I've got a little bit of text up here too. I went ahead and put my discount code up here if anybody needs that. And so what I'm going to do is run this. And now let me move around behind me to this laptop back here. And hopefully it will work good enough that I can show you what I got going on here. Let me just start by turning everything off. Okay, so here's just the image that I've got here, and you can see that I'm going to run this in this first layer. When I open this up, you can see that it's going to run 250 millimeters per second with a max power of 30% and a minimum power of 5%. And 5%, pretty much, the laser is not even going to fire, but it will use between 5 and 30 to get the different shades of grayscale. You can see down here where it's grayscale. I'm running a line interval of 0.102 millimeters and dots per inch of 250. And that's for the image layer. This next one here is for the line. That is, if I turn that on, you can see that brings up that text. It's going to do that at 150 millimeters per second at 15% power. The next layer down is the blue lines of the puzzle. So you can see how it's going to do all the horizontal lines first. And it's going to do those, since it's cutting them, it's going to be doing those at 10 millimeters a second at 30% power. Same thing with the red lines, only those are the vertical lines. And then if I come down here, this will turn on the outer part. So this thing is about made it, let's see if I click on that, it's not a little under 6 by 6, I guess, something like that. But I've got the laser all fired up here. I got to get my exhaust fan going. We'll go ahead and turn the laser power on. I've already set the origin. Let me get over here and see if there's any. Okay, I don't see any questions so far. So let me come to this view here. And I'm going to go ahead. Like I said, it's going to take, I think, about 20 minutes to cut. So I'll just fire it up and let it run. And then I can chat with y'all in the chat or answer any questions you might have. Let me frame this thing one last time, make sure it's actually a piece of scrap, but it looks like it's big enough it's going to work. So let's go ahead and start it. Well, first, let me go back here and look. Yeah, 19 minutes and 29 seconds is what it says. So it might take just a little bit longer than that. But let's go ahead and get it started. And there it goes. So I'll pull up a chair here and take a look at the chat and see if there's anything going on over there. Mr. Brown's in the house tonight. How you doing, Jerry? Sean's here as well. How you doing, Sean? I was out here earlier and used another piece of scrap because I haven't really done a lot of engraving and image, so I didn't really waste a lot of time playing around with it. I've got it where it looks pretty decent, but one thing that I thought was kind of cool about doing this puzzle thing is if you were putting a picture, say with dye sublimation, if you were into that and put that on a piece of wood, it would make a really nice puzzle of your kids or grandkids pictures or something like that. A lot of different things you could do with this, but that's why I wanted to show it tonight. I saw today that Alan Kreifels posted a picture. He has cut the I don't know if he's cut the whole train or not, but he had the locomotive glued up. He sent me a picture of that. So looks like he's going to make the Christmas train that I cut last week. And I've still got to get the rest of that glued up. I've been messing around with some bird feeders and stuff. Did a little painting on one of those and got one hung out in the front on the front porch. In fact, I hung it out there right before that cold snap come. I thought, well, I'll do the birds a favor and put some wild bird seed out there and try to help them out. And I don't think they even found it until today. But I did see some birds kind of fighting over it today. So, and then the one that I posted on Facebook today that I painted, that one I just hung in the back. And again, I haven't seen anybody in that one yet. So I think when you hang one up like that, it takes them a while to figure out what it is before they get brave enough to fly down there and get to it. You guys are quiet tonight. I didn't ask for a sound check. I'm assuming it's working okay. Or somebody would let me know. I actually messed up and forgot to put this thing on the charger until about 7 o'clock. So hopefully it's got enough gas to make it all the way to the end of this this live stream. Okay, Sean says sounding good. Okay, appreciate that, Sean. Alan's in the house. How you doing, Alan? Hope you're doing well. JR says my wife was walking by and said Dave would make a great neighbor. I mentioned your bird feeder that I saw today. She's got several and said that you'd be an awesome neighbor. Well, I don't know about that, but I try to take care of the little birds. You know, I enjoy. One reason why I made bird feeders is because, well, one, it was some cool ones that I found on that one website, and then another thing is I like to put them out there and just watch them. It's fun to watch the birds. Uh, you know, being down here in Georgia, I have several different species of birds, and you know, all kinds, cardinals, finches, and little wrens, and all kinds of stuff. But it's always fun to watch them kind of fuss at one another, uh, trying to get to that stuff. And of course, the real funny part is watching the squirrel try to try to sneak down that string to get to it. So they are a lot of fun to watch. Jerry says, I just set up my new computer, doing some updates on it, and then I'll open you on the supercomputer. Awesome. Good deal. Did you get your enclosure all figured out, Jerry? I tried to watch most of that live stream the other day, but I'd watch it a while and then I'd have other stuff to do, and then I'd try to come back to it. And I think the last time I came back, you were just getting ready to sign off. So I don't really know if you finished it up or not, but I think you were getting ready to put some LEDs or something in it when I last saw it. Let me walk around here and take a quick peek, see if this thing is yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's not quite 7 minutes into it, so it's still got a little ways. All right, let's see. JR says, show a pic of the bird feeder. Okay, let me get over here on Facebook. And of course, this is why I can't wait till I get that new computer. The computer I have is going to be even a little bit better than the one I have in my office, and the one in my office does live streams great without any problem. So I think it's going to work well to have one out here and just use it to run the laser and do the live streams as well. So, all right, here's for those who wanted to see. There's the one I hung up today, but this is before I painted it. This is right after I cut it, and this is actually, I believe this is from that website, amid.com, I believe. And then this is the picture after I painted it. I looked up a finch, that is common to Georgia, saved a picture on my phone, and then tried my best at trying to get it painted. And of course, I'm having to paint both sides of that. It's inside, the inside part is painted as well as the outside, but I think it looks okay. The birds will like it. And I'm trying to see, I might have, let's, let me pull that off of there for a sec. I'll see if I've got some pictures. I don't remember if I posted. I don't think I did post pictures of the other ones because I made um, three different bird feeders. I don't think I put pictures up here. No, I don't think I did. I think I took pictures and sent them to somebody, but I've got them on my phone and they're not on my Facebook thing. But okay, let's see. William says, "Hey Dave, I'm going to start setting up my Omtech manual focus 12 by 20 tomorrow. Any tips or tricks to assist in the setup?" Well, William, I tell you, the first thing I would do, I mean, when I got mine, I immediately upgraded the fan. I had ordered the AC Infinity fan that I've got mounted to the wall back there. And of course, I took out the stock fan. If you leave the stock fan in, it kind of interferes with the efficiency of the AC Infinity fan. So if you do upgrade that, you'll want to pull the stock fan out. The other thing I did right away is I ordered that 4-piece kit from American Photonics, which is the different lenses. Now, the one I have in there right now is their 2-inch lens. And I've never actually fired the laser at all with the stock lens in there. I took it out. I already knew from the get-go from watching other people that I wanted that improved lens kit. So I got that. Let's see, what else did I do? Of course, I got the chiller. Actually, the chiller I have is the 5202, which is really made for 2 lasers, but I just have 1 inlet and outlet with a piece of tube looping that. So, but if I ever get a second laser, all I have to do is run 2 more pieces of hose for that. And then, of course, you can see watching the screen there, I've got some LEDs, a 24-volt LED kit, and I have links for all this stuff too. If you haven't shopped for this, down in the description, there should be Amazon affiliate links for the AC Infinity, 24-volt lighting, and I think I got one for the chiller on there as well. Or you can buy that directly from Omtech, and make sure you use my discount code and you'll get 5% off of that. So, but as far as tips and tricks, I personally don't think these things are that hard to set up. I think the biggest problem is people just don't know how to follow directions. But I think you told me that you're already a member of the Omtech official Facebook group, Advice, Help, and More, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But if you go to the featured tab, let me go over there and where I can screen share and show you that. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. Okay, so let me add this back to the stream. So if you come right here, and I think you said you're in this group, but if you're not, you definitely want to join this group. But if you come over here to the featured, I think is where it is. They have a lot of Well, maybe, no, maybe that's not it. There's a lot of videos and stuff, helpful videos, how to align the laser, and it's all by these three guys, what they call themselves, the laser guys. But also, what I was really trying to point out, maybe it's in the files section. If you come here, you may have to scroll around and find it, but they have shoot, let's see if I can find it here. Somewhere in here, there is, um, they really need to figure out a way to pin some of this stuff. Because there's, I mean, they have all kinds of stuff, but there's a file in here where it's a list of step-by-step things to do in order to set one of these things up. Here's some settings that, they have them for all the different lasers. They got some test cards, which I don't do test cards. I'm going to do a video on that one day soon, why I don't do test cards. Man, I don't know where the heck they put that. But anyway, it is in here. Okay, I guess I'm at the end. Well, I guess you could search, but it's called Step, or what is it called? Setup Guide. I forget what he called it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it now. Now that I try to find it to show it to you, I'm having trouble finding it. But anyway, it's there in either one of those two places. It's either in the file section or the featured section. I was thinking they said it was in the featured section. But again, they have so much information now that it's actually getting hard to find some of this stuff. But I had gotten that earlier and printed that out. Okay, let me flip it back on the thing here. It's cutting the vertical lines, I think, now. So it's already, yeah, it's already done the horizontal lines and everything else. So it's just about done. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can use the American Photonics with any of them, William. Yeah, if you need a laser, Jr., I know a guy. Okay, it's cutting out the outer profile now, so it's just about done. And I think it said, what did I say, 19 minutes and 29 seconds. We'll see how close that is. That's going to be pretty daggum close because we're at not even 18 and a half so far. It's still got to come down this side. And there we go. So Finished in 18 minutes and 42 seconds. So that was actually faster than what that called out for. Now, let me see if I can get some kind of a board here to set this on. Yeah, I think that'll work. Go ahead and move this out of the way. This material is the 5/32 pure bond plywood that I get from Home Depot. It's measures about 0.140 or thereabouts. And you can see that these puzzle pieces, or I guess you can see, I didn't put any allowance or anything for the kerf, because when you cut this stuff, it pretty much fits perfectly. These are just really slick, I think. I can see a lot of gift ideas where you could use this, especially if you're one of those Etsy store people, or craft fair type people. Okay, there we go. Now that I've got it on this board, I can pick it up and it'll stay together good enough. I can even hold it up in front of the camera, I think, like so. If I can get hold it still while the camera focuses. But now, of course, this picture of this Omtech laser that I just grabbed an image to use for this test, it's nothing to write home about, and I didn't even spend a lot of time trying to adjust it to get it to where it would work right. But if I hold this just so that it doesn't, this thing really does a sweet job making those pieces fit. And of course, this one's fairly small, so, but you saw that website that you use, it's, I don't know what they call it, jigsaw puzzle generator. Depending on how big of an image you're going to use, you can set it for, like, okay, I want five pieces across, 5 down, like I did on this one. There's 5 pieces this way, 5 pieces down, which makes it about right, but you can adjust that. It doesn't have to be square. You can make it rectangle. You can make it whatever size you want and get the pieces to fit the way you want. Let me hold. Let's see if I can get a piece off of here. Yeah, I'm going to grab a corner piece. See, Jerry's talking about the kerf does not look too bad. Yeah, this is one of the corner pieces. Like I said, this stuff just cuts like butter. It really does. In fact, normally I can really cut this at about 25% power, but usually if I'm doing something like this where I don't want to, have it hit a pocket of glue or some weird thing, I just run it at 30 just because I know for sure it will cut it and just get nice little brown edges. Nothing, doesn't really char them too bad. But that is a pretty cool, another pretty cool little website, I think. And like I said, I can think of a million different uses for that. If you had yourself a Etsy store or something, and baby pictures, how people are crazy about newborn baby pictures. You can make a thing where you make a puzzle out of the baby's picture and put the date and the birth weight and all that, all that kind of stuff. They love that stuff. So just a ton of uses, I think, for a good puzzle. And again, I just picked an image and tried to burn it on here, but you could do dye sublimation and then cut it where it'd be really nice. Or you could, I've even seen some videos where guys just take a picture, it needs to be on some fairly thick paper, and then you can just take some of that, what is that stuff? It's 3M 77 adhesive spray. I think that's the number of it. Spray it on there, let it get tacky, and then roll it out and get it on there where it's real smooth, and then come back and cut it with this puzzle thing, and you can get some much brighter pictures and stuff like that. So, okay. William says, thanks. I haven't really looked into the Omtech page in depth, but I will. Yeah. I still couldn't find what I was trying to show you, William, but trust me, it's there. If I wasn't looking for it, I'd probably find it, because hardly a day goes by that I don't see Cam Edmonds, which is one of the laser guys on there, post the link, the Facebook link to that setup guide. Because people are every day asking for that. JR says, can you pre-finish the stock, or does it off-gas dangerous fumes if you do? Now you can pre-finish it. You can paint stuff, you can stain stuff. It's not going to be any worse than, stinking it up, anyway. I mean, that's why we run the dust extraction, or not dust extraction, fume extraction. So, but yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool little thing. Let me add this back. This is, like I said, that picture's probably not the best, but I just did it in grayscale. But it was more or less not so much to show off the picture, but just to show the concept of how you can make a pretty cool little puzzle. All right. Has anybody got any questions or anything else we want to talk about tonight? Let me touch on one thing, since William was asking me about the American Photonics. Let me grab my little box. It's actually this one. If you were here for the very first laser distractions, this is what I made. This was made this little box, and I used the logo for American Photonics on it, and I just have a little bit sturdier box than the cardboard box. But I've got, I'll try to hold this up here. I've got, you can see the one is missing. That's the 2-inch lens that's in there. But let me just kind of show you. William. See these all, this is the 2.5 right here. And these are all basically the same except the tube length is longer. So you have a set distance of where they fix the lens in there. And when you order a set of these, or if you want to order a set of these, you pull your stock lens out, and what you're measuring, get yourself some calipers, and you want to measure the diameter of this tube. And you want to be pretty accurate, but because mine ends up being 16.15 millimeter. So I ordered the set, the 4-piece set of lens, and I also have this reverse alignment tool, which is really handy. So the cool thing about these, let me grab my little focus gauge. And this is why I said I disabled my autofocus. You know, the AF2435 stands for autofocus. But since American Photonics sets the lens in there a fixed distance, this one is a 2.5-inch lens. The one in there is a 2-inch lens. I have a 1.5-inch lens, and then I also have a 4-inch lens. But the thing I like about them is all of them, you would just loosen that nut, slide this out, slide the nut, whichever one you're changing to, slide it in, and then you leave the nut loose, and you put this on top of your material. And this says focal length 10.3 millimeters. Well, when they send you the kit, well, I don't have mine in here. They throw in a AAA battery. And a AAA battery is that thickness right there between my fingers. It's 10.3 millimeters. So rather than having to keep that battery around, and I don't like it because it's round, every time you set it down, it's going to roll off. I made these, and I got something where I can hang on to it here, stick this under the thing, loosen that nut, and when it comes down, with this setting on top of the material, that's the gap. And then you just tighten that nut back, pull this out, and you're good to go. So it's the same focal length no matter which lens you have in there, since they have them all set from American Photonics. So that's why I decided, like I said, I have never even fired the laser through the stock lens. It's still somewhere. I'm not even sure where I'd put it. But it is, I've only used the American Photonics lens. And I've always seen people talk about they were using a stock lens and then they upgraded, and man, they could really tell a difference. So I thought, I'm not even going to use a stock lens. I'm just going to start right out with the good ones. And these are fantastic. Now, I don't make nothing if you go use my link to buy these, but I would encourage you to go buy them anyway, because they just make things so much easier. All right, how are we doing on time here? We're 55 minutes in. I guess let's see. Let's see. I don't see any more questions, man. Y'all being quiet. Um, yeah. Also, I mentioned this, or I try to remember to mention it every once in a while. If there's anybody that wants to see me do something, because they want to see, maybe you're thinking about getting a laser and you want to see if it'll do a certain thing. Um, I'm just out here peeling around, making stuff, having fun. So I can run anything. Um, I've still, I still have to try some acrylic. I haven't done that yet. There's a lot of other materials I want to try. I've just been having so much fun with this 2 different thicknesses of this Pure Bond stuff because it just cuts like butter. It makes me look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I just, it's just been perfect from the get go. So, let's see here. Jerry has a question. Which Omtech do you have or would you suggest? Okay. I have this one right here. It's the Omtech. The model is AF 2435-80. Again, the AF stands for autofocus, which I don't use, but it's still available if I wanted to do it. Basically, I don't have to turn a knob. That's what a manual focus is. I don't have to turn a knob to raise and lower the bed. I can do it with buttons. It has a stepper motor and a chain that runs around 4 Acme screws, 1 in each corner. It's got a little sprocket on them. Some of them have a belt. Mine has a chain. So I can do arrows and raise and lower the bed, which makes it nice. That's really not that big of a deal, especially it's nice to have if you're going to be changing things where you got to raise and lower the bed, especially if you go to put a rotary in because you got to run the bed all the way down. It'd be a whole lot easier to push that button and let it go down than to sit there and crank on that knob. Although I have seen some guys put a nut, take the knob off, put a nut on there, and then put their drill and stuff and do it that way. But anyway, that's the one I have, the AF 2435. Again, the 2435 is 24 deep by 35 wide, approximately, or 600 by 900 millimeters. The 80 means that it's 80 watt. As far as recommending one, they're all good. One of the things when Omtech contacted me and we started talking, I had already, when they first contacted me, I had already jumped on YouTube and the internet, started doing all the research I could do so that I would know what the heck I'm doing, or at least a little bit. And it didn't take me long to figure out that when you get to an 80 watt tube or higher, they seem to have a much longer lifespan. Now, there's still, when you look at the charts and stuff online, they always say, well, if you use it and keep it mainly below this percentage of power, it should last 8,000 hours. And if you run in this range, a little more power, it'll maybe last 5,000 hours. And then if you really like to crank it up and cut a bunch of thick stuff, and come close to maxing it out. Then it might last 2,000 hours. So I just knew that it's like when you get up to an 80-watt tube, that's when you start really getting some good lifetime out of the tube, assuming you're not running it, trying to max it out, cutting a bunch of thick stuff. But I felt like for what I wanted to do, I'm kind of doing the stuff that I had planned when I first started thinking about this. Is being able to cut stuff. This is a little bigger than an 1/8. I like running those boxes out of that or bird feeders or what have you out of the it's called 1/4 inch, but it's really about 0.2. That's the kind of stuff I was wanting to do. I wanted something that could cut that without any issue, and I cut that 1/4 inch stuff at 10 millimeters a second and only 30% power. So max for my laser is 28 milliamp, and when I'm running that 30% power and cutting that 1/4 inch, it's at about 6 or 7 milliamp. So it's not doing much. So, but all of them are good, Jerry. It would be hard, you'd really have to. It's kind of like what I always tell people with a CNC. How big a one you think you're going to need, and what do you plan to do with it? What's your budget? How much room do you have in your shop? All those things are considerations. Kind of the same thing as the CNC. Knowing you the way I think I do, Jerry, I think you would want. I think you'd be like me. I think you would want at least an 80-watt or higher. Omtech sells. They have the 80. They have a 100. They have a 130, and then a 150. And those things are huge. But if you need to figure out how much room and would this thing fit in my shop, all the specs as far as the overall dimensions and stuff, all of that is on the Omtech website. So, and like I said, there's a link down below if you want to go check out any of them. I have a list of several of them. I even have a link for the new Polar, which is, I keep saying it's their version of a Glowforge, but I need to quit saying that because it's better than a Glowforge. It's less than half the money. It's got a 50-watt tube instead of a 40-watt tube like a Glowforge, and you don't have to be on the internet to run it like you do with a Glowforge. So yeah, I've got all kinds of them on there. I've got the Polar. I've got 2 60 watts, the autofocus and the manual focus. I've got the rotary axis. I've got the chiller. I've got a couple of 100 watts. When I say a couple, I have the autofocus and the manual focus. And then I have the autofocus just like mine. And there's another one that's autofocus, but it's a little bit smaller bed. It's called the 2028 80 watt. But I have links to all that. And there's even more than that on their website. So I don't know about that, Alan. I don't know what I would do with an Auburn one. Wouldn't have much use for that, I'm afraid. Let's see. JR says finding dividers and organizers that would work well with my drawers isn't working out. A laser would do a great job of making 1/4 inch material boxes / dividers. Yeah, that's the cool thing about having a laser. you know, when it comes to stuff like that, organizational stuff, you don't have to worry about trying to find a perfect little thing to fit in your drawer or whatever. You just measure out whatever you want, go to one of them box maker things or whatever, and spit it out. It's not hard to do. Sean says, I started with an 80 watt in my machine. Then when the tube went out, upgraded to a tube to 100 watt. Yeah. I don't know if I'll live long enough for my tube to go out, but whenever it does, if I'm still around, I'm going to use that opportunity, because if you guys have a real sharp eye, you can look right here above my finger and see that I still have that seat, that big long clamp, pulling that where it got damaged in shipping, pulling that down so that I can raise and lower that door that covers the tube. So my goal is I thought, well, I don't like having that clamp on there. It looks a little silly, but it works. And I don't want to get in there beating around on stuff with a hammer with that glass tube right there. So I thought, if I live long enough to use up that tube, when I go to replace the tube and pull that one out, that's when I'll probably take that whole metal piece off and do some sheet metal work and get it, try to get the bends and kinks out of it, because it's just not going to be able to do it without having it off, where you can put something on the back side to tap it down. But so I just live with the big clamp on there right now. So all right, I think we've been at it a little over an hour. I guess I'll go ahead and get off here. If you're new here, what I've been doing is on StreamYard here, I can have up to 9 different people join me, not live. It's after I end the broadcast. But anybody that wants to just come in and hang out, send me a message on Facebook Messenger, and I will send you the link where you can come in and join. You don't have to, but if you want to, usually have 2 or 3 folks that want to come in and hang out for a little while. But we'll go ahead and sign off and get out of here and see if anybody wants to do that. And you get a chance, like I said, I put that link for that website for the puzzle thing. So if you got a laser, and by the way, Jerry, I know right now you just have the diode lasers. I have seen a guy do a video making these puzzles with a diode laser. It takes a little longer, and they have to make 2 or 3 passes, but you can do it with that too. So anyway, I guess that's going to do it. Also, anybody wants to come check out Saturday, we'll be doing a hobby CNC with Dave thing, kind of be informal, not really much going on, but I'll be doing one, and then we'll be doing the challenge announcement stuff the week after January 7th. So anyway, but yeah, so next week, January, let's see, what'll it be? January 4th, I think. There's one other thing I didn't mention. I had done a poll on my community tab asking folks if I did this live stream and made it open to everybody, would they come and watch? And most people, I don't know how many I had do the poll, about 27 people or so. And I think about 95 or 96% said, yeah, I'd come watch. So I may try to do, I won't even say once a month, probably just once in a while, but I may do the first one, try to start off 2023 with opening it up to everybody and let them come and see what this Laser Distractions live stream is all about. And then we'll see how it goes from there. But anyway, I'll be doing that, and should have the new computer. So hopefully all will start running a lot smoother in 2023. So anyway, let me get out of here, and y'all let me know if you want to come hang out a bit, and we will see y'all later. Everybody, if I don't see you on Saturday, have a Happy New Year.